Hey, what's going on everyone? In this video, I'll be comparing the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, okay, up against the Samsung Galaxy S4. Now, I'm not going to be comparing exact specifications like their exact measurement numbers, the exact numbers involved in their processor and stuff like that. If you want to find those exact precise details, be sure to check their individual video reviews, their individual gaming demos, which I get into more about their gaming performance, picture samples and videos, all that other stuff. Those exact details can be found in the video description. Simply expand it and then you find all those links to those videos. This is just a general comparison, so let's start. I think the first thing we'll start with the LED notification light, which kind of pops up here. You can see that the Note 3 is, let me see if I can get the Galaxy S4. It's so faint, it's pretty pathetic. There, it just blinked blue. Whereas on the Note 3, it's far more easy to notice. Now, if you see this blinking thing over here on the Note 3, just ignore it. It only shows up while I'm recording with my camera. It's not going to show up while you're looking at it with your own eyes. Now, in terms of size, it's not much of a comparison now, is there? Look at it, the Galaxy Note is significantly bigger, the Note 3 to be more exact. In terms of thinness, I would say they're surprisingly about the same. In terms of width, obviously the Note is bigger. So in terms of mobility, obviously the Galaxy S4 is going to win. Now in terms of weight, the Galaxy S4 is lighter, so it wins in that regard. But let me just say this. For the size of the Note 3, I am very surprised at how light it is. I'm very impressed. Okay, so let's discuss screen clarity. This is one of the most important parts because they both have 1080p screens. Obviously here's the Galaxy S4, here's the Note 3. Now, in terms of screen clarity, both of them are very clear, because they're both 1080p HD. And what I've done is I put pictures on both phones where the resolution of the pictures are higher than the phone screens. That way I'm able to get the full potential of the phone screens. And what I've also done is I put the brightness on both of them up to the exact same level. And one more note, you guys will not see the full potential of each screen even if you're watching this in 1080p. Because YouTube compresses and downgrades the quality of videos by a significant amount. So this comparison is one of those things you have to take my word for it or see it in person. But with that said, let me just say this. I'm noticing that the Galaxy S4, despite the brightness being set the same as the Note 3, it's slightly darker, just by a little bit. If I were to use it on two separate occasions, it's something you wouldn't really notice, but now that I have them side by side, yeah, I can tell that the Note 3 is slightly brighter. In terms of general screen clarity, both of them are fantastic. You can definitely tell that they're HD 1080p. But in terms of which one's the better screen, I have no idea. They look identical to me in terms of clarity. So in regards to clarity, I would say they're the same. In terms of brightness, the Note 3 is better. But because the screen on the Note 3 is bigger, people might prefer that simply because it's easier to read stuff on and see things. So let's talk about RAM. The Note 3 has 3 gigs of RAM, the Galaxy S4 has 2 gigs of RAM, so in terms of RAM, the Note 3 wins. Now let's talk about speed. The best way to test speed is with the gaming, of course. When you play some high-intensive graphic games for Android, I've noticed that the Galaxy Note 3 performs amazing. In fact, I have said in the review of the Note 3 that it is the best Android gaming device I've ever used. Now in terms of gaming on the Galaxy S4, I'm not saying it's bad. It's actually one of the best, the top tier I've used, but it's not as great as the Note 3. The Note 3 is the best in terms of gaming. Also, with that said, it's obviously to tell that the Note 3 is much faster in terms of general speed performance. Now, in terms of GPU, there's a slight upgrade on the Note 3 compared to the Galaxy S4, but again, because the gaming looks better and smoother on the Note 3, I would assume that the GPU is just naturally performance-wise better than the Note 3 anyway. In terms of connectivity, both of them have NFC, Bluetooth, DLNA, LTE, Wi-Fi 802.11 AC, Miracast, which you can stream whatever's on your phone wirelessly to a Miracast supported device, GPS. Now here's the key difference though. So basically what I've said up until now, all their connectivity is the same. The key difference is that the Note 3 has upgrades. The first is that it has a micro USB port. The right hole here can be used as a regular micro USB port. However, this whole thing you'll notice looks a bit strange because it actually supports USB 3.0. So you can actually transfer files between your computer and the Note 3 faster if you have a USB 3.0 port. Whereas the Galaxy S4 uses a regular micro USB port. So the Note 3 has the same transfer speeds as the Galaxy S4, but faster if you have a USB 3.0 port. Not only that, in terms of connectivity, the most important part about the Note is the S Pen, or Samsung's exclusive stylus, in which you can do a whole bunch of additional features that are not available on the Galaxy S4, such as, let's say, writing directly on the screen itself. Hi. So in terms of connectivity, the Galaxy Note 3 wins easily because it has everything the Galaxy S4 can do, but more. Again, if you want to see this S Pen stylus in action, watch the Note 3's video review. Now let's talk about the camera for the Note 3 first. What makes the Note 3 so unique compared to other Android cameras is that it can record in 4K video recording. If you don't know what that means, you have 720p, the level above that is 1080p, and the level above that is called 4K, which I think is something like 2160p, so roughly that number. So it is one of the better smartphone cameras out on the market currently. It's actually pretty good. Now, in terms of the Galaxy S4, I'm not saying it's bad. It records in 1080p. It's actually pretty darn good, actually. But I'm noticing that the Note 3 is better in terms of the rear camera. Now, in terms of the front-facing camera, well, they're pretty much a tie. Alright, so let's talk about battery. Obviously, the Note 3 has the bigger, better battery. Now, in terms of storage, the Note 3 comes in 32 or 64 gigabytes internal. The Galaxy S4 comes in 16, 32, 64 gigabytes internal. However, they also both support up to 64 gigabytes external micro SD card memory. So in terms of storage, it's a tie because the Galaxy S4 has the same options as the Note 3, plus the additional 16 gig internal. Okay, so at this point I'm going to give you a very, very quick speaker comparison. I put the volume on both phones to the maximum. Both of them have the exact same video playing at the exact same time. It will lift the Galaxy S4 up just a little bit because the speaker's on the back. I'm not going to lift the Note 3 because the speaker's at the edge panel here. So let's start with the Galaxy S4. A lot of problems in the past. This is by far the best router I've ever used in my life. But yeah, it's pretty big, but extremely reliable. You'll notice that there's numerous amount of LED lights. Okay, now for the Note 3. Problems in the past. This is by far the best router I've ever used in my life. But yeah, it's pretty big, but extremely reliable. You'll notice that there's numerous amount of LED. What I'm noticing with the speaker test is, with my own ears, because human ears are better than the camera mic, is that they're pretty much a tie. So they're equal in terms of speaker comparison. Alright, you might be wondering which one is the better multimedia device. Well, there's not much of a comparison here. It's gonna be the Note 3. It has a bigger screen, which is easier to read text and play games on and stuff like that. Its processing power is a lot more powerful, so in terms of multimedia device, the Note 3 is better. And in terms of general software interface, I am not a fan of either of them. I said in their individual reviews that I wish Samsung had the Android generic tab here and a second tab with all the exclusive Samsung features. Instead, they decided to clutter it all over the place. So in general system interface, they're equal. Alright, so let's talk about phone quality because they are both phones after all. I'll have to say that the Galaxy S4 is better. Actually, the Galaxy S4 is one of the best phones I've used in terms of phone call quality. I was expecting a bit more for the Note 3 considering it's newer, but it's okay, but not as good as the Galaxy S4. Now in terms of general features, both of them have the exclusive Samsung features like waving the hand in front of the camera to change a picture, multi-window, which you can open up multiple apps here on the side. The key difference though is that the Note 3 has the S Pen, the stylus pen, which comes with a whole bunch of extra options here as shown in its video review. So in that regard, in terms of features, the Galaxy Note wins. Okay, so if you were to ask me my personal opinion, this is my personal opinion only, which one is the better one to get, I would say the Note 3. The Note 3 is huge, I know, but if you can get past the size, it's surprising how thin and light it is. It is the most powerful Android device I've ever used by far in terms of gaming. For watching media, it has a big screen, it's great on the eyes. So by far the Note 3 wins, and the stylus pen works great. The S Pen is very easy to learn and use. I'm not saying that the Galaxy S4 is a bad device. It's actually a very, very solid device. I just think that the Galaxy Note is better. Now in terms of best bang for buck, which one's the better dollar value? Easily the Galaxy S4. Both of these phones are very overpriced. This year Samsung overpriced their phones because they know they're going to sell like hotcakes, but the Note 3 is one of the most expensive phones you could get right now. and then Galaxy S4 is cheaper. For your personal preference, which one you prefer is better is up to you. No one else can decide for you. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, be sure to check out my Facebook, Google+, Twitter links in the video description. Hit the like button, it does help, subscribe, and thanks for watching.